Hey, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Repressed Humor Issues. I am Dan, or Life is Better Without Ryan. And with me today, I have a special guest. Seeing as Sailor Moon, as we're now referring to him, is on a cruise, I've brought in Cole. Cole, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Cole or Tuxedo Mask. To keep in
Oh,
keep in the Sailor Moon
see,
theme.
now you're going to have to explain that. It's not going to work without an explanation.
Well, if Ryan is Sailor Moon, Tuxedo Mask is the bad guy in Sailor Moon. Have I just outed myself as a total weeb right at the top of this whole shindig? Did I give you way too much ammo?
Apparently, you're a Moonie. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what you are now.
Okay, I'm Cole, aka Mooney. Uh, ready to get fired.
Yeah, and what we're doing is we're testing out replacements for Ryan. I'm just kidding. He'll be back. We didn't want to go a full 2.5 weeks. Well, Ryan decided that he was gonna pleasure himself on a boat somewhere.
That guy.
So that guy, I know. So Cole knows Ryan. So this is basically going to turn into a bash fest against Ryan. We already know this. So Ryan, if you're listening, it sucks to be you.
Sorry, Ryan. Go gallivant about, find the coolest yachts, eat some stroop waffles. We'll hold down the fort over here.
So one of the first things that I gave Cole a couple of rules, and one of the first rules was we're not going to talk politics. And I'm going to break that rule because there was an assassination
Yeah,
attempt this week that we have to talk
I
about.
was gonna say the same thing. This is quite a rule to have this week specifically.
Yes. I'm calling him the Kotex Klansman. He had a little event on Saturday, and I could tell you that all of Saturday and Sunday, all I could do was be the asshole that I am on Twitter because there was just no way this story was going to drop. And everybody that I follow and pretty much everybody else on Twitter was ablaze with Trump getting a little ouchy on his ear. Now, wi- if you don't know, really what happened was yes, there was an assassination attempt, but really what happened was a little piece of plastic that shattered off of a teleprompter from a bullet scratched Trump's ear.
And we're never gonna hear
That's all
the
that
end of
really
it.
happened.
It was
Oh yeah,
like just enough of an attempt to be super legit, but also small enough that it's wildly hilarious and totally okay to make fun
yes.
of. The fact
And then if you've seen the pictures from the RNC convention in Milwaukee, um, everybody is now wearing those stupid patches on their ears that we refer to as like they're just the ultimate maxi pad ear accessory.
Yes, they are kind of advertising to the world that they are in solidarity with the guy who got a little boo boo on his ear.
The one eared asshole. Yes.
Now, what I want to know is like, I know we can't tread too deeply into the politics of it all, but did this guy have a manifesto? Or was he just some fucking crazy crank sitting on top of a roof? Because with Trump, I feel like it could be absolutely either end of the spectrum. There could be a guy who like wrote not a novel about how he's ruining our economy and blah 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 and all that bullshit, or it could just be fuck that guy, he's an asshole. I have no idea.
Um, so the police and the FBI have said that he looked up specifically this event and bought a 5 foot ladder. So he had obviously scoped it out enough to know that a 5 foot ladder was going to be enough. But he had also checked out the venue for the Democratic National Convention in Chicago,
Whoa, so he
and he had looked up Biden.
so he
So he
he
was,
yeah. He just wanted to watch the world
yeah,
burn.
yes, he was a freak. So he didn't care who he shot. He was just going to make a name for himself and go out in a blaze of glory. But the funny part about this is something they found out about the building that he was on. Okay, I don't know if you've heard about this,
Mm-mm,
but
mm-mm.
this kid was on top of a building that had all the spotters that were looking for barrels of guns as people were walking by. He literally was sitting on top of the people that should have been looking for him. as he took pot shots at the president,
That
former president.
that takes balls. I gotta hand it to that
Yes.
kid. He's like, not only am I going to take a shot at one of the most powerful, most well protected people in the world, I'm gonna do it sitting on top of all of the people that should be doing said protecting.
Well, I don't know if he's the most protected man in the world anymore because his entourage of Secret Service agents sure seem to want to get him
Yeah,
killed.
they he sat on that stage after being shot for like 4 more minutes or something like that, where they're like, should we move him? We gotta move him. We should move him, right?
Yeah,
Uh, wait, he's gotta get his shoes." Something.
because he wanted his shoes. And when part of the problem was when they threw his shoes off stage, which, first of all, if you get a little scratch in your ear, why do your shoes come off?
Yeah,
I don't understand that part.
that's
But
the hilarious thing is I think he just took his shoes off for the speech. I think he had just made himself more comfortable, and he was just sitting up there in his socks addressing the country, and I loved it. I love that image in my head.
yeah, and JD Vance was probably sitting in the lectern just working the zipper, you know.
Yeah, as you have to do as VP, that is kinda your number 1 job.
Well, the last VP didn't do it and they tried to hang him, so
Yeah. No, that's what it was. It wasn't about the electoral bullshit, it was about not enough zipper work, really.
yes. Uh, and then the calls for Biden to step down out of this race, they got interesting today because apparently Obama has had a conversation with Biden about stepping down. He just feels that um, there's enough momentum and there's enough problems that the chaos that this is causing is enough to lose the election. And it's interesting because I think the chaos of doing what they're saying they're going to do is enough for them to lose the
Yeah,
election.
it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing because, like, if you were gonna make this push, you sure as heck should have started it a little bit sooner, but I think nobody could have predicted just how lost that old man looked at that debate.
Yeah.
Like, I think people, even like really high-ranking Democrats, were like, "Ah, he'll be able to hold it together for a little bit longer." And man,
And no,
that was brutal.
yes. But Ryan, excuse me, Ryan and I still love the video just after Trump was got convicted, where Biden's walking away and they're saying, "Do you think that Trump should drop out now that he's a convicted felon?" And he just kinds of turns around, smiles at the camera, turns back around, and just walks away. It is the perfect encapsulation of where we are at this point in our political spectrum.
Felon or lost grandpa.
Yes, exactly.
Somehow
Um,
these are the best of us. These are our options.
uh, we're gonna move off of politics now because I think we've done enough to be able to discuss the little bit of politics I was going to
All
allow.
right, 10 minutes,
Um,
fair.
I'm I'm going to put you on the spot now because this is what we normally do. Now, if you remember, I don't know if you've listened to all the episodes, but in season one, we did Celebrity Cage Match.
Oh yeah.
And Celebrity Cage Match started from the concept of Ryan and I each picking 10 celebrities that we thought we could beat up in a street fight. That's where it really started from.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make you do 10, but I want to hear the 5 celebrities that you think you could take in a street fight.
Okay. Well, the first one that comes to mind immediately, I think someone actually already mentioned because I was looking through the bracket. I was gonna say Pauly Shore, and then I was like, no, wait, somebody already said Pauly Shore. He's the obvious choice. Um,
And in one of our tests on this, Pauly Shore actually won.
that's insane. I know he's like
Yes.
crazy, and like usually the craziest person wins in a fight, but there's no way that guy's taking anybody down of actual heft. Uh,
Right.
okay, so I'm going to go with. Let me think for a second here.
I realize I'm going to ask you why after each person you put in this list.
Um, so let me say, first off, Left Shark. You familiar with Left
Okay.
Shark?
I am not.
Okay. Left Shark is from a Katy Perry musical performance that really like owned the stage. All right.
I know what this is about now because I just looked it up while we were talking.
I th-
Good
I
call.
think I could
The way to go petty, Cole.
I could kick that little fuzzy thing's ass. Okay. Doesn't have while he definitely he or she really has a lot of chutzpah. Not a lot of coordination, and I think it's probably hard to breathe in that thing. I think I could probably get a good chokehold on it, especially in some type of like street fight situation when there are no rules. Uh,
So you're not just thinking there's a way I could take them. You're planning out the fight already. You know how you're going to take Left
Absolutely.
Shark out.
I mean, if you've got all that bulk on top of you, you're on land also. Uh, I think I've got you.
Well, you just got to hope he doesn't have a laser on top of his frickin' head.
If it's a laser shark, I'm fucked. I withdraw from the whole tournament. I say,
And you got to
I'm,
hope there's not a boat with a battery in it close to the shark.
whoa, hang on. What do you mean?
You don't know about the whole Trump thing with talking about having to make a choice between jumping far enough away not to get electrocuted by the battery in a boat, but then getting eaten by a shark, or
No.
just letting yourself get electrocuted. Okay. Well, I just told the whole story
Okay.
at that point,
No more
but he
politics.
actually talked about that.
You know, it does not surprise me at all. It was probably some kind of speech about the economy, and then somehow 30 minutes later, he's talking about jumping off a boat.
He's talking about electric cars. So,
Okay, I see.
but it turned into electric boats. So, okay, so that's number one. We got left shark. Now, you realize the idea is to be as petty as possible, but I'm going to ask you, do you think that Ryan could have beaten up Will Smith?
No way. What? Will
Yeah,
Smith?
Ryan picked Will Smith.
That's an
Yes,
insane
and I
choice.
mean, even that open hand slap that he did on Chris Rock would put Ryan out. We might as well
Yeah,
face it,
sorry,
right?
Ryan, if you're listening, Will Smith would kick your ass. I hate to say it. I don't think I'm even being petty here. Will Smith would kick my ass. All right, I'll
Yeah,
freely admit
yeah.
it.
What we're getting to a different level of person to be able to do the kick Will Smith's ass, and we don't know any of those people.
And I mean, maybe Will Smith 8 9 years from now, I think you got him, but he's still too
When
close to his prime.
when Jada's turned him into a cripple, he's walking around with a cane and
She already mentally
trying to
has,
make him look
unfortunately.
trying to make him look like Shaft, but makes him look more like I don't even know, named decrepit black person, and we'll go there.
The old guy from the
Tracy Morgan.
Boondocks.
Yes, or Tracy Morgan works as well because I saw a video of Tracy Morgan being wheeled through an airport on a wheelchair, and he does not look good.
Ah, poor guy. He had that
Yeah,
bad car accident. Not, I know it's a
yeah,
comedy podcast here, but pour one out for Tracy Morgan.
yeah. So it's just a matter of what you're pouring out. You have to be specific on this show.
Oh, okay. For me, it'd probably be a little bit of gin. Well,
Okay, there we go. Okay, back to what we're supposed to be talking
okay.
about here.
So I got left shark. I'm gonna say Tom Hanks easy. I got that guy. I could
Okay,
destroy
so
Tom Hanks.
uh, so Tom Hanks today, but what about Tom Hanks big?
Tom Hanks big? I still think I got him.
Because you
I
because
think Tom Hanks big, he's still like on the up and up. I still think I can take him down. He's a little young, he's a little green, he's fresh. Tom Hanks like Saving Private Ryan, that guy's got old man dad strength, but he's not old yet. That guy
right.
probably kicks my ass.
Okay, what about Forrest Gump?
Oh man, I don't want to
I'm putting you on the spot on this one. Go for it. Come on, explain your way out of this one.
Look, he's probably pretty strong in Forrest Gump, okay? I will say. So yes.
He's got that wiry strength that comes from walking across the entire continental US multiple times
Yeah, he's gonna destroy
and
me.
playing ping pong. Yeah, he's got the agility from playing ping pong.
And kind of also just like the total wild card nature. I said it before, but I think in a fight, what's way more important than raw strength is sort of the wild card aspect of like what are they gonna do, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's all first move. If they connect on first move, we might as well face it. Uh, if you've ever seen Bridget Jones' Diary, the second one, my wife has made me watch that multiple times.
Can't say I
Um,
have.
they have a man fight between Hugh Jackman and Colin Firth, and it's like what fights actually are. When they punch each other, they knock each other to the ground each time because nobody takes that first punch to the head and just
No,
stands there.
unless you've been in a fight before, you're gonna be
Yeah.
a glass cannon, and
Yeah, and they're, ripping at each other's clothes and grappling all that sort of stuff as opposed to the fist fights that you generally see in movies. They do a good job of making a real man fight there. But yeah, all these fights are turning into that. Even when I said the Olsen twins, it's still going to be a man fight. They're going to be clawing at my clothes, and
jeez.
I'm just going to be slapping and grabbing and biting my way through that fight.
Man, there's 2 of them though. I would say Olsen twins, like, today, they're putting up a good fight against you. Yeah, sure, you
I
can destroy some toddlers, I'll give you that.
Well, so I didn't ask about the how long could you last with 10 new toddlers coming at you every 30 seconds. We could get into that, but that's for a different day.
Wait, how
This
old are the
this is just
toddlers?
about a year.
Oh.
Okay. And they've done videos on this where they're just saying, well, by probably minute 4, you're getting pretty tired of kicking babies.
Yeah, I think the mental
If you
toll
if
that it takes on you is probably greater than anything at that point.
Yeah, plus you're running out of, like, room around you to be able to kick more toddlers, and some of them are gonna get back up and come after you, and the first one that takes out the ankle, you're done because now you're on your knees, you're down to punching, and you'll punch yourself out on those toddlers pretty
And it
quick.
depends on, like, do these toddlers, like, have the killer instinct? Are they biting? Are they scratching? Or are they just like your random toddler? Like, if they're
No, they're coming at you to take you
yeah, then
out.
it's actually, I think, harder than you might expect. I it so I don't know if you've ever played the video game Super Smash Brothers, but, there's, a mini game called the 100-Man Melee, and they just send guys at you, right? And that's all I'm picturing now is, just hundreds of toddlers spawning, and you just trying to, like the way to win that would be you be Donkey Kong, and you do your down B move and just start slapping the ground, and just send toddlers flying. Yeah.
My daughter owns me on Super Smash Brothers. I cannot win that game against her. She has the agility that is destined to make her not very successful in life, but really happy at how good she is at Super Smash
Whoa.
Brothers.
Wait, hang on. You're saying that your your daughter's not gonna be very successful in life? Wait a second.
Not because of the agility she's getting from playing that game.
Ah, I see, I see. Yeah, the little kids are
Realize my daughter does bow staff. She teaches other kids bow staff. Okay, she's a high red belt in karate. She has some agility. That's not what's going to make her successful. What's going to make her successful is her ability to be sarcastic and not let anybody else win.
that is how you win in business, I think, as long as you can,
Yes.
do it, effectively and make people not hate you.
Yep.
I think she could probably
Okay,
beat
so
Will
we got to
Smith.
get back to well, as long as he doesn't have a stick, because he's got the length of arms advantage.
That's a good
So,
point.
okay, let's get back to where we're supposed to be. We got left shark. Now we got to get your other four in here.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks. That's right. So we're down to three more.
Um, I'm gonna say Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know if you know who that little guy is, but
I
I'd love
I
to
know who Machine Gun Kelly is.
okay, you're not that old. I would love to pop that little guy in the face. Something about his face and his whole aura just makes me wanna, like, take his skinny neck, grab it, and then pop his head right off of it. I think it'd come off pretty easy.
Yeah, and the fact that him and Megan Kelly did went through the whole wedding thing, or I don't know if they actually got married or not, but she must have just owned his little ass.
Oh, yeah. She's she's
Yeah.
talk about, like, different leagues. Personality-wise, it kinda makes sense, but he's such a little weasel-looking guy. The the story I've heard, I have no idea if this is true, but I'm in my head, it is canon because I heard it one time and I liked it. The story of them meeting was that they were at a party in LA and he had just like smoked a joint or had smoked a lot of weed, and he walked up to Megan Fox, and she says to him, "You smell like weed," and he says, "I am weed," and from there it was love. "I am weed" was his first line. So I guess that's it.
So, according to the internet, they met on the set of the crime thriller Midnight in the Switchgrass.
Well,
So, your canon, I just destroyed.
maybe it was at a cast party for
Oh, okay, yeah, could be
Switchgrass.
that. Yeah,
Could be. I
but
remind me not to ever watch that movie.
I mean, just how badly she wrecked Transformers is just
Have you
unbelievable.
ever seen her thumbs?
Oh
Look up,
god,
look,
no, but now I've gotta look it
yeah,
up.
look up Megan Fox thumbs. It will blow your mind. Eh,
Megan Fox thumbs. We go to Google Images.
eh, for you
Um,
listening along at home, you can. This is a little interactive piece. Go ahead and Google that.
she's got toe thumbs.
Yeah,
She's got fucking toe thumbs. What the
it's
hell?
pretty. It looks like those, in Spy Kids, the little, the little floop guys, the little thumbs. Yeah.
No, I don't know Spy Kids. I'm not that young, but I'll go with it. But I mean, it literally. So this is the challenge. You've got to go find something better. Everybody that's listening, you got to find something better to describe Megan Kelly's thumbs than them being toe thumbs. But that's the first thing that came to mind is they look exactly like a big toe.
And that's going to be tough to do because that's a really apt description. It's well done.
Yes. So
Okay.
okay, so we got Machine Gun Kelly. Who else are we going with? You got 2 more, and is this in any order, or are you just making it up as you go?
Oh, just making it up as I go.
Yeah, that's what we normally do is this whole show is making it up as we go.
I'm gonna go with I think Gary Busey. He's probably probably I love Gary Busey, so no offense to the man. If you're listening, I love you, buddy. But I think his mind is addled to the point now where I could probably easily take him down. And yeah, that
Okay, so he is rather, how do we say this? Um Interesting. But he also, if you take him back, let's say 40 years, do you think you're beating up 40-year-old Gary Busey? Or can you only take at what age could you take Gary Busey?
oh man, that's a good question. So he's definitely got me. 40-year-old Gary Busey is gonna like make me look like a fool. He's gonna put me in a little headlock, and uh, I'm I'm done for. 50-year-old
Okay.
Gary Busey, I think he still got me. 55-year-old Gary Busey, I'm gonna take down. I think 55.
Between 50 and 55 is when you think that you're just murdering Gary Busey in that alley when he decides that
Absolutely,
he's going to jump you. Yes.
absolutely. And
Okay.
let's see what his filmography looks like at that age, so that we can see if I am correct.
I'd have to know what age he is now, and I
He's
don't know what age he is
he's
today.
80 now, so 55 Gary Busey. 46-year-old Gary Busey was in Predator 2. Black Sheep was like 50-year-old Gary Busey.
Okay.
52, that era Gary Busey.
Yeah, okay.
I
So
got
you're not beating Predator 2,
no,
but you're definitely beating, let's go with The Shadowlands.
yeah,
I'm only mentioning it, I've never watched just because it's in that range, I'm just trying to be a dick, so
and definitely Piranha 3D Gary Busey.
yes,
By
yes.
then
Yeah,
it's
the
all over.
predecessor to Sharknado, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Tremors in the water.
Yeah, which actually I've never seen Tremors. It's a crime. I need to see that movie. I love horror movies. I love
Oh,
comics.
that's I saw a TikTok the other day that shows Kevin Bacon at the beginning of Tremors, and he's trying to hammer the wire onto the pole, and there's this little U-shaped nail thing that he's trying to do it with, and he hits nothing like 8 times before he hits that once. that it kinda goes a little bit in, and then he and the other guy just kinda walk away from the fence. He was
So
totally useless at hammering that shit in.
so Kevin Bacon is not the handiest man, is what you're saying.
Yes, I think his footloose days were done by the time he hit, Tremors.
Well, a man that can dance like that doesn't need to do anything with a hammer. I'll tell you that.
So, are you saying that you couldn't take Kevin Bacon?
No way. Kevin Bacon's gonna destroy me just with a single
Yes.
look. He'll punch dance me to death.
Punch dance you.
I'll be
There's a new term.
yeah. He's gonna do circles around me. No,
Yeah.
he's got me for sure. All right, so I've got to have
Okay.
one more.
One more, because let's just review for everybody. We've got Left Shark, we've got Tom Hanks, we've got Machine Gun Kelly, we've got Gary Busey. Now you got to go super petty. I mean, you can't. This one's got to really hit because yes, you've targeted a couple that are good from a namesake. Now you've got to go and just pick that person that you want to beat the shit out of just because they exist.
Okay, well, Machine Gun Kelly was definitely one of those, but yeah, the others I think. Uh,
But I'm talking, somebody that, Gary Coleman, or just somebody out of the blue that you just want to beat up for the fact that, well, he doesn't exist anymore, but just beat him up because.
uh, okay, Tom Green. Fuck that little guy.
I watched Road Trip like a month ago.
I want to punch that guy in the face. Tom Green.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to exist. He's kind of like Seth Rogen.
But Seth Rogen's so much better.
I don't know. The first thing I ever saw him in that I started recognizing him in was Pineapple Express,
Which is
and he just wanted he. I wish I would have thought about him for the list at that point because I would have added him to my list at that
his laugh does make me wanna, like, punch him in the face a little bit. But, like,
And
Pineapple Express,
you
pretty good
know,
movie. Uh, Superbad, pretty good movie.
him and James Franco have done it.
Yeah, I
He
pictured it.
he's woken up in the morning and just felt that that male body pressed up behind him and just pushed back into it a little bit. He's done it.
Yeah, well, I actually think that Rogan's probably Big Spoon, and Franco's kind of nestling up against that rug that Rogan has on his chest, just kinda enveloping James Franco entirely.
Oh,
So,
so
that's my list.
uh, yeah, well, that's a pretty solid list. I gotta say that. Although the nightmares that I'm gonna have about James Franco and Seth Rogen now, just in that spoon position, are not going to be pleasant. And the worst part about it is I'm gonna wake up and just think, "Damn you, Cole."
Yeah, well,
All I'm gonna think.
you and many women throughout my life are gonna share that fact.
Oh, so I've seen somebody walking back behind you, and I'm not gonna ask you about your situation, but that means you still have plans for more people to fall into that category is
No,
what you're
no,
saying.
no, I've hung that up. Those days are behind
Yeah,
me.
okay. So what he's saying is it's already happened and he has names.
Yeah, and this is not, gonna be made public, obviously, right? So I'm totally good.
Yeah, nobody's ever gonna see that. I mean, we have a -4 Nielsen rating.
You have name.
That means some people haven't watched it and have been warned against watching it. They're not gonna get a Spotify account just because they heard we're on it.
So people have actually threatened to drop Spotify just because this exists.
No, 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 they haven't even heard it. They just know that it exists, so they're not gonna make a Spotify account.
Okay.
They're preemptively not listening to us. They're taking active measures not to listen to us.
And God bless them. I mean, I I I
Yeah.
I probably will too after this.
You're gonna listen to this one now.
Oh God, no! I cannot listen to the sound of
No?
my own voice. It's a
Oh,
horrible experience.
I've gotten used to it. You gotta realize, my daughter and I do our TikTok channel, so I've heard my voice in so many different ways because our TikTok channel is about stuffed animals.
That's right. They're like
Get
getting in little
Yeah.
capers.
Yeah, so I don't promote it on here because I don't want people associating my daughter to this show, but
Fair.
I've done some voices on that show on that. We're up to like 250 videos now. I just I don't want to admit some of the voices that I've done on our TikTok
The
channel
things you
because
do for your children, you know?
yes,
So I'm
yes.
that's wildly more popular than this show, right? I have to assume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had, one, video that got 128,000
Yeah.
views.
Okay. Yeah.
We did a live that got 55,000 viewers.
It's
We've had some success on that. This show, we get a lot of hate mail, and that's how we gauge success.
yeah,
And
it's
just
good.
so everybody's aware, clowncollegeboy@gmail.com is still there. Go ahead, send Ryan your hate mail.
Send it all to Ryan. He needs it. He thrives off of it. He
Yes.
It's good to know at least you have talent in your DNA, if not presently in your own activities.
So what you're saying is, I'm just gonna make sure you understand what you just did.
Uh,
What you're saying is you never want to be on this show again.
I mean, yeah, probably not. I don't know.
Huh? Okay, because what you're doing by throwing me under the bus for the lack of success that we've had on this, which realize success is not our metric. Okay, our metric is just being stupid on the internet. Okay, what you've done is made it so that now we can blame you for everything bad that happens after this moment.
Bring it on. And you know what? Being notorious is far better than unknown. So I'll say I'll be the um what's his name? The guy who shot Lincoln. I'll Six Semper
John
Tyrannis.
Wilkes
There
Booth.
we go. I
Yes.
just mean that your daughter is very talented. I was trying to compliment your daughter. I wasn't trying to, throw you under the
So
bus there.
so you're saying I'm not talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. As long as we're clear on what you're saying, because with Ryan, we never have any idea what he's saying.
Yeah, so that guy, while I'm here, right? Might as well just make all the enemies. Ryan, no talent. Dan, no talent. Cole, no talent. You get us all together though. Three no talent
So
hacks in the same room. That can be fun and worth listening
this
to.
is interesting. This is interesting because what you just did was you just included yourself in the no talent pool.
Oh, I'll be the first to admit it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because most people don't throw themselves that quickly in front of the bus as they're throwing everybody
Look,
else under the
I
bus
I
too.
learned a long time ago if you jump in front of the bus, it doesn't hurt as bad as if you get thrown. And then no one can throw you if you jump. So, bulletproof, baby.
Oh, there's a stranger in fiction moment there, but a stranger than fiction. The Will Smith movie.
Will Ferrell?
I won't ruin it. Will Ferrell. Yeah, I said Will Smith. No, Will Ferrell. I've done that twice now. I don't know why I equate those two together because they couldn't be more polar
No, now
opposite.
Will Ferrell, Ryan could totally kick Will Ferrell's ass. I think so. Not Will Smith.
Uh, I don't know. I think that's an even fight.
Yeah, it's I guess it comes back to who's willing to be crazier, you know.
Yeah. So you've set me up for this now. Who's
Fair enough.
winning a fight between you and Ryan?
Oh, Ryan. I I
Yeah.
I I wish it was me with everything in my being, but that guy
Yeah.
actually works out. He's
Yes, he
he's
does.
solid. I am the definition of skinny fat, flab all over. I don't think I could bench press 100 pounds. Ryan Breitenbach,
Okay.
yeah, and I'll own it.
Yeah, we've joked about there's a joke in The Office about Oscar having gay abs. And I'm pretty sure I've never seen and I don't need to see, but I'm pretty sure Ryan's working on gay abs.
He's got. I bet she's got him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to see, I don't need to see, but with the number of times he tells me he goes to the gym in between donuts, maybe there's some camouflage over the top, maybe there's not, but
So you said you've been talking donuts a lot. Favorite donut? You got a favorite spot in Chicago? Stan's? You're a big Stan?
no, that was the first time I had been to Stan's, and I honestly thought this is how not Chicago I am. I thought it was named after Stan Mikita, but it turns out it's not.
That's a
They
hockey
just
guy?
used the name Stan. Stan Mikita is a hockey guy. Don't you remember Wayne's World?
I love
They go to
Wayne's
Stan
World.
Mikita's they go to Stan Mikita's donut shop.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
There's the guy with the hockey stick on top, that's supposed to be Stan Mikita, but they made that up for the film, and I thought it was a real thing. I thought it was a Chicago landmark.
Okay,
My favorite donut, Tim Hortons, maple dip, sorry, best donut on the planet by far. Tim Hortons,
classic.
if you haven't had it, you gotta get yourself some Timmy's at some point.
Never been. Never been to Tim Hortons.
Yeah, so where's your favorite donut then?
I mean, Do Right in Chicago. Do Right Donuts. Go
Okay?
check that out.
I've never been
Go
there.
to Do Right Donuts. They also have chicken. They got donuts and fried chicken in that place. Out of this world.
That's an interesting
Yeah,
combination.
they do chicken biscuits and fried chicken and some of the best donuts you'll ever have.
That's like a hamburger and coffee place.
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
just don't go together. Dunk your fries in the coffee, just isn't gonna work.
Well, they've got a Gladys Knight chicken and waffles here in Georgia. Chicken and waffles is really popular here. I guess it's sort of a similar thing, right? Fried chicken, breakfast
Uh,
food.
but I could see having that breading with, the bread material with chicken, that works. Okay. Trying to dunk your hamburger in coffee like as au jus sauce, it's not gonna be the exact same thing.
Bitter au jus.
Yes, exactly. It's you know, just it has to be black. You can't even put any sugar in it when you do it.
Oh yeah, just sopping buns, black
Yes.
coffee.
Yes, that's now something that we're gonna have to get. We're gonna try this again because it didn't work with throat sweat. We're gonna try to get sopping buns on Urban Dictionary just because you said it.
Yes.
I am grabbing a pen right now to write this down. I don't have a pen. I am going to write this. I'm going to type this in as we speak, and it's not letting me edit. Technology is defeating me. Why is nothing allowing me to click to type? It's going to be one of those days. Okay, sopping buns. I'll remember that. We've got to come up with a definition for what sopping buns means, though.
Oh, it's also like a good band name, man. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, but they're not going to accept it on Urban Dictionary if we just say good band name.
okay, so we got to come up with something. Urban Dictionary is generally pretty grossly sexual, right?
Yes, if you remember, well, you probably haven't listened to enough episodes because you're part of our -4
Yeah, I'm one
Nielsen
of the
score.
guys that wrote into Spotify and said, "Until you get this filth off, I will not be signing up."
So, but if you could still find it, the Space Dock Fondue Party is absolutely the worst thing that you can ever find on Urban Dictionary. And we've talked about it on this show
I'm
before.
looking it up right
He's
now.
going to look it up.
You know I am.
So maybe this is the test for our guest hosts. Is I'm going to make you read it off in real
I mean,
time.
so
Okay, I'm going to shut up, and you have to read the definition of space dock fondue.
so I've actually heard of space docking, but I don't know the space back fondue. Okay, here we go. Should I read this off for the people at home?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. We specifically put the explicit content flag everywhere where we post
good.
this.
Okay, and hopefully there's no crossover between your TikTok following and the podcast. Okay, so space dock fondue, a variation on the classic space dock, generally reserved for party situations. Here, one female is chosen to serve as the fondue pod. Oh God. One male who has taken a gentle laxative shits watery diarrhea into the woman's vagina. I do not want to finish this, thus filling the space dock fondue pot. Next, each man at the party takes turn in dipping his hard pole in the fondue pot. God damn, this is vile. Covering it with shit. Finally, each man's partner licks the feces off his shit encrusted cock as if it were a chocolate covered banana. That
Yes,
is literally the most vile thing that's ever come out of my mouth. And that
and now your Saturday night.
and I gotta try it.
Yep, yep. I
So
can imagine the people you're going to be inviting over.
when I was in high school, my friend had an uncle who was really funny, but also really gross. Like he was that uncle who never like had a family and just kind of like was that weirdo who'd show up sometimes. And we had this other friend who was super mean to everybody, and this uncle like was like tired of his shit. So he just got in his head that it would be funny to say he's space docked. Can we can say first names? This is
First
okay.
names, yes.
Uh, he wanted to say he just decided it would be really funny to say I space docked Jeffrey's mom, and it made him laugh so hard. He said it and he would giggle. And this is like a 45-year-old man hanging out with like 17-year-old, 16-year-old kids. And he runs around the house with parents home going, I space duck Jeffrey's mom. I space duck Jeffrey's mom. And man, it is juvenile, but I haven't maybe laughed that hard since. It was because it was kind of putting him in his place as well. And I had
Yeah.
just learned what that word means.
Yeah, so really what you're saying is he was the good guy to buy weed from.
Yeah, he was that kind of vibe for sure.
Yes. Yes. He knew where to find the harder stuff, but he always had the weed at the
Yeah, and
ready.
he wouldn't bring out the harder stuff around the kids who knew better.
Yeah, yeah. That was for the special people.
Right. For the people he
Yeah,
would hang out
yeah,
with behind the Walmart parking lot with.
yeah. He was the regular supplier for Matt Gates.
Oh man. Have you seen that guy's face recently?
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to go there. I just I've seen so many things on Twitter about mashups about who he looks like, and most of them are saying he looks like Beavis and Butthead at the same time.
That's so good. Yes.
Yes.
Man,
So
if
for
Beavis
those
and Butthead was on like Real Housewives, he's got the weirdest, smoothest face now.
Yes. So anybody who doesn't know, Matt Gaetz obviously got some Botox before he gave a speech yesterday, um, and got his eyebrows done. Like he was, he I don't know if he microbladed them or what he did, but he had those perfect eyebrows, but they were really thin, like no man should ever have. And
And he got
he,
Botox, like, in, certain spots on his forehead, but not other spots, like, they didn't do a really good job, so, like, he's got permanent villain eyebrows where they're super thin, but they're pointed downward, so, like, the outside are curved up and the inside are down, like Megamind.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, it was not a good look. He looked like somebody called him he looked like a sex doll.
Yeah, wow. That's very
Yeah,
apt. If they made a
yeah.
Beavis and Butthead sex doll, it would look like Matt Gates.
Oh, I'm getting all sorts of stuff to be able to put onto Twitter after I'm done this because I gotta go a trolling.
Yes.
That's just what I do.
It's that time of year, right after a
Yeah,
presidential assassination attempts. The trolls are out.
yes. Okay, so we got about 15 minutes left in this episode, and I'm gonna ask you a question, and you have to answer honestly. And even if you've tangentially watched this show, you weren't the person that put it on the TV, but it ended up the TV and you ended up watching it. How many episodes of Bridgerton have you watched?
0. I'm sorry to be
Oh,
a wet blanket. I haven't seen any of it.
lucky man. You're not missing much. Just so you're aware. Spoiler alert, worst fucking show I've ever seen.
So I'm guessing this is all
Oh,
your idea, not your wife, right?
my wife loves this show.
And it's
Okay. And I'm one of those guys that if I'm sitting there playing on my phone or reading a book or something like that while it's on, I can't help but have my ears listen to what's on the TV. I cannot shut it out.
I'm the same way.
I'm incapable. And I know I'm incapable, and that's why I hate that show that much because I know what's going on in it. It's like Sister Wives. I hate that I know how stupid of a human being Cody is, and why Christina is not much better than him, and Mary should have left years ago, and Robin just is a horrible human being, and Janelle, I mean, poor Janelle. I mean, but I only know this through osmosis. It's horrible.
It's
But Bridgerton is just 18th century Grey's Anatomy with whitewashed racism.
like Pride and Prejudice with more sex, uh, and
More sex, but complete like they try to pretend that in a time in England that slavery still existed, that they had a colorblind society. That's the only real way to be able to put it. Everybody was just somehow equal. The men, there's still a lot of the men dominated it. The women plotted in the background. There's some misogyny in there, but the fact that they just try to pretend that racism didn't exist in 1818 is freaking annoying as hell.
Well, it to me, if it's not a historical drama and it's not about racism and they're not trying to touch that topic, it doesn't really bother me that that much. Like, whatever. Who cares?
But you want to know, I'm one of those people that when I watch a period piece like that, and by watch I mean literally have it
Soak in.
in more like have it inflicted on me is what happened with that, as opposed to me watching it.
It's Bridgerton
I'll
warfare.
look. Yes. Oh, we've got another thing that we have to put on. I'll remember the rest of that one from that note. Yeah, it looks like I'm doing some Urban Dictionary posting today. Uh, but I will find the little things that are wrong. Like Dune, I can't find anything because it's just not a period piece. It's not something that harkens back to a past that can happen. There's
Harkonnen's
lots of
back.
mistakes.
Hmm?
Sorry,
I
what?
said Harkonnen's back. Harkonnen's back. Sorry.
No, just don't. I watched Dune 2 on the airplane a couple of days ago. I was not impressed. There's a lot of people that were amazed by it. I won't do any spoiler alerts, but
I love
it,
it.
it felt like it was about an hour and a half too long.
Oh man, I love Dune 2.
Yeah.
Doing two chicks at the
Now,
same
Dune
time.
1, Dune 1, my problem with it was it seemed like all it was a setup for the second movie.
I-
So maybe it's my problem with Dune 1 leaking into Dune 2. Is it felt like now there's got to be a third movie, and all of this was just drawing up to how they're doing Dune 3, which is the same thing that they did with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and then Into the Multiverse.
Dude,
Yeah, I hate Into the Multiverse because they just got to the good part and then they say next movie to come out in 2025.
well, you're bringing up some of my favorites of the past few years, so I don't know if I can have similar opinions here. Dune, I loved. Spider Verse. Wait, across. Which is the first one? Across
Across the
into the Spider Verse.
Into the Multiverse was the first
That one
one.
was awesome. I didn't see the second one.
Uh, Across the Multiverse was the second one. Did you see the second one
I did
yet?
not see the second one yet.
I won't spoil it beyond what I already did, but my daughter and I were both pissed off at the end of it because we did love the first one. Miles Morales is probably the most interesting Spider-Man character they've come up with in a while.
Totally agree.
Okay, much better than the Andrew Garfield version of it.
Oh
Much, much
yeah,
better.
that 30-year-old high
So
school kid.
yeah, and Tom Holland is a really good Spider-Man, but he spent way too much time with Robert Downey Jr., the weakest Avenger. That's just realized there's a gimmick behind that you don't need to know about, but that movie just was. It got to the point where you expected the climax, and all of a sudden the movie's over.
So they're just basically milking it, is what you're saying at this point.
Yeah. Yep. It's like we don't have any of the Avengers left. We've run out of ways to do Spider-Man live action. So let's just make this a TV show, but you're gonna pay $17 to go watch it.
Totally. I mean, that's just the way all movies are going. Like I went to the movie like the theater the other day. I was looking up all the posters, and I was like, sequel, sequel, based on a book, sequel, original movie. It was like one of the like
Yeah.
10 posters that were up was like an original script written for the stage that wasn't part of some multiverse or a book or something like that. And it's a sad state of
Okay.
affairs.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot again, but I'm gonna answer first here so I can give you some time to think about this. What is the movie from the 80s or 90s that they will attempt to ruin by remaking it? And
Oh,
I'm going to pick the obvious one before you get a chance. I'm going to take the obvious one off the table. Somebody at some point is going to try to remake Goonies, and they are going to totally fuck it up.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because you cannot redo the Goonies. The people that are in it, the way that they acted, the way that everything came together, you cannot redo that movie without wrecking it. What they'll do is they'll do the same thing that they did with uh, the Total Recall with the version that they came with like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was just horrid.
Well, so my this isn't my answer because I already did it. But The Sandlot, my favorite childhood movie, they already ruined. They made like a dumb sequel and tried to
Yeah.
redo it, and it was horrible. And I'm not just bitter, I'm not just uh, saying that. Yeah, I am, but it's how I
Yeah.
feel.
I I I mentioned the Bad News Bears in a meeting the other day, and everybody aged me, and I reminded them that it was the Billy Bob Thornton version of the Bad News Bears too.
Yeah. Well, wait. There was the Billy Bob
There
Thornton,
was the original from, like, the early '80s, and then they remade
the
it,
Keanu Reeves one.
with Billy Bob Thornton.
Didn't they do a Keanu Reeves one too?
Did they do that too?
I
Wow.
think so.
1976, the original Bad News Bears. That did not have Keanu Reeves in it. It
No,
had Tatum O'Neal and Vic Morey and a bunch of other people. And then there's other versions that have been done since then.
but I think there was a Keanu Reeves one in like
Well, so
2005
there's
or
Bad
something.
News Bears without the in front of it. And that was Billy Bob Thornton, Greg Kinnear, Marcia Gay Harden, and
Oh,
Sammy King Keft.
they made a movie called Hardball, which was like basically the Bad News
Ah,
Bears. It was like
yeah,
Keanu
okay.
Reeves teaches coaches an inner city little league team that sucks, and then they get better, and it's heartwarming.
So what you just did was you wrecked the entire bit because you didn't even know the name of the movie you were talking about.
What? There's no bit. There's no bit.
There was a bit I was talking about how the Bad News Bears got wrecked, but when I brought it up, everybody thought I was talking about the 1976 version
Oh, I
when I was
see.
talking about the 2005
And
version, and then you talk about a completely different movie for no reason.
it happened again. History is destined to repeat itself. You couldn't even repeat the bit without somebody getting the movie wrong again, but in a different way.
Okay. I'm gonna just go with whatever you just said because I think the circular logic that you applied is only making sense in your head.
You said, I'm trying to bring up the Bad News Bears. Somebody mistook what you tried to bring up for a different movie. Then you tried to recount that.
No, no, you wrecked it by bringing up a different movie. They thought I was talking about
A
the
different movie.
1976. It's still a different movie,
Oh,
but it's the
interesting.
same
Still a
name.
different movie.
It's the same fucking name. Get over yourself. That's it. I'm muting you for the rest of this episode.
Have fun by yourself. Okay, so
Okay.
my movie from the 80s that I think they're going to try to remake and they're going to make it shit is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, that would be another one that you
Can't.
can't redo that movie.
It's a
It's
moment
just
in
not
time.
possible.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when they try to redo the Breakfast Club. It's just the angst in that movie is not possible to recreate.
Mhm.
Okay. What song are you going to have at the end of it when he punches into the air?
Yeah.
Okay, there's just you can't have any other movie that recreates what happened at the end of Breakfast Club without that song, and you know they won't use that song.
No, I don't even, I don't know music well enough today to even guess what they'd try to use today.
Yeah, well, but you know what song I'm talking about.
Yeah. Don't you forget about me.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so how about this? What is the movie that aged the worst out of the '80s? If you try to watch it now.
Oh, wow. I'd have to think about that.
So I know what it is, and I hate myself for this. When I was a kid, I loved the Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, the He-Man?
Dolph Lundgren is He-Man. Yes, and it is so bad, just so bad. I tried watching it again a little while ago, and it just it probably didn't even hold up until, like, it probably came out in, like, 85 or 86. It probably was bad in 87, but the 30 some years since then has made it incredibly bad.
Wow, great answer. I probably won't try to watch that. I probably saw that when I was like in 8th grade. And
Okay.
so my answer, I'm gonna get crushed for this probably, but and this is like maybe late 70s, early 80s. Stripes, and I love Bill Murray,
Oh,
but I tried to,
Bill Murray and Ivan Reitman.
yeah, I tried to watch it kind of recently, and
So did
I
I.
watched it when I was like 14, like 15, and I was like, this movie's so funny, this is so
The
perfect.
the the only good part about it is when they're all telling their stories around the trash can with, God, the
John
guy,
Candy.
the drill sergeant's name
Oh
begins with an H.
yeah, I'm not gonna remember it.
Yeah, I can't remember it either, but it was some weird name. But there was like when they're telling their stories, and John Candy is just telling his, and he goes off on a rant. And yeah, I miss John Candy.
He made anything he was in so good. Yeah.
When he's in the wrestling pit with the girls in the mud pit, I mean, I wonder how much of that they just said, "Okay, go act."
Yeah, just be you. Just be a little
Yes,
goofball.
just yeah, be the fat pig in the mud bog. Because really, that's what it was. Yeah, but I agree, that movie, I mean, just even when he throws the basketball through the window, that you can't redo that anymore, and when the guy throws the basketball back up to him, I mean, you can't remake that, it wouldn't be funny anymore because it was only funny in that one moment.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
Bill Murray, I think, is that way probably.
yeah, and, John Larroquette just you can't replace his character in that. When he's sitting in his office with the binoculars looking in the woman's shower and everybody walks in behind him. I mean, only John Larroquette could get away with that.
His voice somehow is just like always perfect. That like rich baritone, like
Yeah.
yeah, kind of a Phil
That's
Hartman
why
esque.
it and it sucks that they redid Night Court. They did it with I can't remember her name from Big Bang Theory now. Melissa somebody. Melissa Ranch, I think it is.
Okay.
They redid Night Court, and it just doesn't have the same feel because Harry Anderson not being there, Marsha Post not being there, Richard Mall not being there. The only person that's really there still is John Larroquette, and he's a shadow of his former self in that show. It, I don't want to dissuade people from trying to watch it, but if you're looking for, the Brent Spiner character as the guy that has everything bad possible happening to him, like I remember the one where he bought the confection stand inside the cafeteria and it just broke in half. I mean, him and his wife have every bad thing that could possibly happen to them. It's not that kind of show. It's kind of more of a let's pay homage to it,
Right.
but not really do a good job.
It's kind of an interesting one to choose to remake. I've never really seen it, but like I don't know. Is there a I don't,
You never watched Night Court?
no. Um
How could you not
it
watch
was
Night
before
Court?
my time.
Oh. Night Court was 1983, 1984. It had Brent Spiner in it before Brent Spiner was Data. And he plays such a different character in it. It's unbelievable. So it probably doesn't hold up well today, but it's much better than the remake that they make. And I'm not going to watch it because first of all, I miss Harry Anderson because he was perfect for that role, and Mel Torme is in it, and Mel Torme is gone as well. And so with that, we're at about time for this episode.
Okay.
So I would thank Cole for being here, but he was kind of a dick to me earlier, so I'm not going to thank him.
And I would thank you
And
for having me, but he was kind of a
we'll
dick to
we'll
me,
see if
so
he can get a return guest visitor. As I said, we were auditioning for Ryan replacements here, and he's obviously not it.
well, we'll see if you get desperate enough to have me back. See if
I don't know that at that level of desperation, does it become? I resort to you or I just shut the whole fucking thing down.
Hey, you know what? If you do come crawling back, we'll have to make that decision
So
in the moment.
you said we have to make that decision.
I don't know if
I didn't realize you were that vested in this now that you think you're part of the decision making
yeah,
process.
I'm gonna be checking the ratings. I'm gonna be looking for sponsors. I'm all producing behind the
Uh,
scenes.
we stopped with the sponsorship thing because Jolt Cola just didn't want to hear from us, and
Ah,
I can't even remember who else we had as fake sponsors for a while. We actually did that for like 6 or 7 episodes where we tried to have fake sponsors, and the joke just eventually got stale. And when we started celebrity squirt games, which I still need to slap Ryan, that whole Will Smith open hand right across the face slap Ryan for taking us off of the real name of it because he was worried about us getting sued and changing it from the other games that are on Netflix to squirt games. I just hate it in every single possible way, but we have to go with it now. So,
it's what's gonna stick.
yeah, well, it's sticky, all right. Yes. Yes. I know, I know. So, anyways, I do wanna thank Cole for coming out.
Yes,
As you can tell, Cole and I have known each other for a while, so, I really appreciate you stepping in for the missing Ryan while he's off on a ship somewhere, trying to play with the seamen.
as he's wont to do.
Yes.
Well, thanks
Um,
very much for having me, Dan. I had a blast, and if you ever do get desperate, let me know. I'd love to come back.
Perfect. So you're now 17th on the list. Got it. So everybody, as normal, you can reach us at repressedhumorissues.com. Because you're already listening to us, you know where to listen to us. So I'm not going to do the Ryan thing that I tell him not to do and tell you all the places you can listen to us on because it's kind of redundant. But you can also contact us on the website or email us at repressedhumorissues@gmail.com. Celebrity Squirt Games, we're very close to being able to actually do the first episode of it. So I'm hoping that we're going to get that tape next week. And as always, thank you for listening. Talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Uh, this is $140 microphone,
Damn,
and so is this.
you sound good.
So it's my voice. It's never going to sound good. Don't be like Ryan and try to get in my pants. It's not going to work. Okay.
That's strictly for
That's
him.
not gonna get you back on the show more. It's just not gonna happen. Basic Cole.
No,
I've
I made sure
I
it would never happen. I was just enough of a dick. I'm out of here.
I've I've been in a hotel room multiple times with Ryan, and he still has not been able to get my pants off, so you're not going to either. Because
I
remember,
don't believe that
he's
for
got
one
gay abs.
second. I don't believe that for one second.
Oh, the rumors we could start.
Especially at work.